The Philadelphia Eagles, my friend, just watched one of their players finally open his mouth after months of complete silence. And what he said was not a speech, not a rant, not a locker room complaint. It was a single short sentence, almost casual, tossed out in the middle of a training camp interview. But it was a sentence that should send a chill down the spine of every Philadelphia fan. Because hidden between the lines of that sentence is a goodbye. A silent goodbye, polite, without any drama at all, but a goodbye. The truth is that Howie Roseman just committed more than $230 million to only 2 players at the same position. And there is a third man inside that group who understood perfectly what that means for his future. Today, for the very first time, he let the mask slip. The most striking part of this story is that almost nobody is talking about it. Everyone is distracted celebrating the huge contracts, the records, the pretty headlines, while behind the scenes one of the most underrated players on the entire roster already knows that his clock in Philadelphia is ticking, and ticking fast. If you are a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel, because this is exactly the kind of story that the big media only notices when it is already too late, and you are going to want to be in the loop when it explodes next spring, when free agency opens, and this name is out on the market. To understand the weight of what happened, you need to go back a little in time. 2023. The NFL Draft, 7th round, the 249th pick, out of a total of 259, basically the very last breath of the entire draft, the kind of pick that most teams simply throw away or use just to fill out the practice roster. The Eagles used that pick on a defensive lineman out of the University of Texas, a guy who stands 6'3" and weighs 292 pounds, who nobody on the planet expected to become anything. And today, 3 seasons later, that very same player has turned into a fundamental rotational piece on one of the best defensive lines in the entire league, and he just sent a public message that could define his future. His name is Moro Ojomo. On Monday, talking with reporters during training camp, Ojomo was asked directly about the lack of a contract extension in his case, and the answer he gave, according to E.J. Smith of PHLY Sports, was short, cold, and surgical. He said, basically, that if there were a deal right now, the deal would already have happened. Stop and listen to that sentence again, my friend, because it carries far more than it appears to. What Ojomo is saying, without shouting, without complaining, without creating any controversy, is that there is no extension conversation going on whatsoever. Zero. Nothing. He is not asking for money. He is not threatening. He is not making a scene. He is simply stating a cold fact. The Eagles have not put a single proposal on the table, and he knows exactly what that silence from the franchise means. 2026 is going to be the final year of his contract, a showcase year. And after that, the market decides. And this is where the math comes in and destroys any romanticism. The Eagles did not fail to extend Ojomo because they do not like him, or because they do not value what he does. They did not extend him because, purely and simply, the vault has already been emptied at his position. In March, the franchise gave Jordan Davis a 3-year extension worth $78 million. And now, just a few days ago, came the heavy blow. Jalen Carter signed a 4-year extension worth $152 million, officially becoming the highest-paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Add those 2 things together, and you have more than $230 million locked into just 2 interior defensive linemen. Now tell me one thing. How do you fit a third fat contract on top of that? The answer is simple and painful. You do not fit it. And the situation gets even tighter when you look ahead. According to Zach Berman of The Athletic, Ojomo is considered likely to leave Philadelphia in free agency in 2027. And the reason is not only Carter and Davis. It is that, at exactly the same time, Howie Roseman is going to have to prioritize the extensions of 2 of the best young defensive backs in the league, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who become eligible for new contracts right around then. And those 2 are in line for enormous paydays. So think about the full bill. Carter paid, Davis paid, Mitchell coming, DeJean coming. Where is there room, under the salary cap, to pay a 7th-round defensive tackle who is already getting too expensive? There is no room. And Ojomo, being a smart guy, understood that before any fan understood it. But here is the part that makes this story truly hurt. Ojomo earned the right to be paid. This is not the case of some random backup whining for money. This is the case of a player who produced in concrete terms. Let me give you the numbers from last season, because they are revealing. In 2025, with Carter missing 6 games due to injury and with the departure of Milton Williams opening up space, Ojomo took over the spotlight and did not waste it. He led all of the Eagles' defensive linemen in snaps played, with 740. He started in 9 of 17 games, and he racked up 38 tackles, 12 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. More than that, he finished the season 12th in the entire league in pressures, with 49, and Pro Football Focus ranked him as the 28th best interior defensive lineman in all of football, out of a universe of 127 qualified players. That is not a role player's number, my friend. That is the number of a solid, above-average starter. The kind of production that, out on the open market, makes other teams pull out their checkbooks. And it is impossible not to feel a shiver of déjà vu when you look at all of this, because the Eagles have already lived this exact story, with this exact script, very recently. Just a few weeks after crushing the Chiefs by 40-22 in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia lost none other than Milton Williams, who left for the Patriots chasing a 4-year contract worth $104 million. Williams was the rotational defensive tackle, the guy nobody gave much credit to until he exploded and got too expensive to keep. Do you see the pattern? Ojomo is a photocopy of that situation. He was polished behind the scenes, behind Carter and Davis, waited his turn, produced when the chance appeared, and now he is on his way to repeating Williams' fate, walking straight out the front door, bags packed, earning the money that the Eagles simply cannot pay. The franchise profited from him for 3 years, paying 7th-round money, and now it is going to have to watch him leave. So, to be fair and transparent with you, there are some important counterpoints that need to be put on the table before you settle on any opinion. First, none of this is signed, none of this is final. Berman used the word likely, not certain. The NFL is unpredictable, and an injury to another player, a creative contract restructure, or even a drop in production from Ojomo himself in 2026 could completely change this equation. Second, Howie Roseman is a salary cap magician. This is the same guy who has found room to pay players who seemed unpayable countless times. If he truly decides that he wants to keep Ojomo, there are accounting maneuvers he can pull out of his hat. The question is not whether he can, it is whether he will want to prioritize it. Third, Ojomo himself did not close any door. His statement was an acknowledgement of reality, not a trade request or a tantrum. He did not say he wants to leave. He said there is no deal. Those are different things, and it is worth not putting words in his mouth. And fourth, a showcase year cuts both ways. If Ojomo has a 2026 season below expectations, his market cools off, and the Eagles could end up being able to keep him for a much friendlier price than anyone imagines today. The money game in the NFL is never a straight line. But at the end of the day, the naked truth is this. One of Philadelphia's best recent draft finds just signaled, in his own words, that he sees his own departure as something natural and likely. And the franchise, with the vault already emptied at that position, did absolutely nothing to deny it. Now I really want to know your opinion. With Carter and Davis already costing more than $230 million combined, and with Mitchell and DeJean coming up in line right behind them, should the Eagles break the financial logic and fight tooth and nail to keep Moro Ojomo? Or is letting him follow the path of Milton Williams and using that money to reinforce other needy positions on the roster the smarter decision for the future of the team? And one more thing. Do you think this public statement of his was just an honest answer from a laid-back player? Or was it the first sign of a goodbye that is already decided behind the scenes? Leave your opinion in the comments. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.